audio-only version on our Telegram channel. My mom forged my name for a loan and now wants me to pay it back. Hey everyone, I need to vent about this situation because it's been killing me for months. I'm 25, a girl, living in Los Angeles, California, and this story is about my mother, who I'll call Anne, not her real name, of course. We've always had a complicated relationship. She raised me alone after my father left when I was 5. She worked multiple jobs to support us and constantly reminded me how hard it was for her. I'm grateful for that, but over time it turned into manipulation. She always said I owed her for everything she did for me. I tried to help. After college, I started working as a marketer, sent her money every month, but it was never enough for her. It all started last year. I noticed strange things in my credit report when I checked it through the Credit Karma app because I was planning to buy a car. There was a $15,000 loan that I never took out. I thought it was a mistake or identity theft, so I contacted the bank. It was Wells Fargo. They confirmed the loan was in my name, with my social security number SSN, address, and even a signature that looked like mine. But I knew for sure I hadn't signed anything. I dug deeper and found that the loan application was submitted online, from an IP address that matched my mother's home in San Diego. When I called her and asked directly, she denied it at first, but then confessed. Yes, she forged my documents, used my SSN, which she knew from my childhood, copied my signature from some old papers, and took out the loan because she urgently needed money for home repairs and medical bills. She said she planned to pay it back herself, but now she can't because she lost her job due to the pandemic, and she's demanding that I pay it because I owe her for all those years she fed and clothed me, for all the sacrifices she made because of me. I was in shock. This isn't just money, it's identity theft that ruined my credit history. My credit score dropped from 750 to 580, and now I can't get a car loan or even rent a better apartment. She constantly calls and texts, accusing me of selfishness, saying, "You only think about yourself, and I suffered my whole life because of you. It's your responsibility to help your mother." My friends advise going to the police, but she's my mom. How can I put her in jail? On the other hand, if I do nothing, I'll be stuck with this debt. I feel betrayed and guilty at the same time. Has anyone dealt with similar family fraud? How did you cope? I'd appreciate any advice. Update 1, 2 weeks after the original post. Thank you all for the support and advice. Your comments helped me gather the courage. Many advised not to hesitate and go to the authorities because this is a serious crime. I did just that. First, I gathered all the evidence. Printed the credit report, got copies of the documents from the bank. They sent me the loan application with the forged signature, noted the IP address, and even recorded our phone conversation where Mom confessed. In California, it's allowed to record conversations with one party's consent. I also checked my old documents. It turned out she took my SSN from tax forms I sent her for help with taxes. I went to the police in Los Angeles and filed a report for identity theft. The officer explained that this is a classic case of family fraud, and such cases often happen between parents and children. They took my statement and said the investigation could take weeks because they need to coordinate with the bank and possibly the prosecutor's office. I also contacted the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and filed a report on identity theft. They provided me with an action plan, including freezing my credit report with Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian to prevent further loans in my name. Wells Fargo Bank started an internal investigation after my complaint. They froze the loan and said that if fraud is proven, they'll remove it from my account, but it could take months. For now, I'm not paying on the loan because it's not my debt, but collectors have already called. It's horribly stressful. The situation with Mom has escalated. She found out about my police report, probably someone from the family told her, and threw a tantrum over the phone, yelling that I'm an ungrateful daughter, that I'll ruin her life, and that she'll curse me. She even tried to manipulate me by saying she has health problems and this stress will finish her off. I feel awful, but I'm trying to hold on, started going to a therapist to deal with the guilt. My boyfriend supports me, says I'm doing the right thing by protecting my future. I also hired a lawyer specializing in financial crimes and family law. He said we can file a civil lawsuit against Mom for damages, including legal costs and emotional distress. But first, we're waiting for the police results. If she's found guilty, she faces a fine or even jail for identity theft. In California, it's a felony if the amount is over $950. Emotionally, it's draining. I don't sleep at night, thinking about childhood, about all the times she supported me and how it all turned into this. But I understand I can't let her ruin my life. Thanks for your stories, they inspire me. I'll update when there's progress. Update 2, 1 month after the original post. Things are moving, but slowly, and the stress is only building. The police investigation is ongoing. The detective contacted me, asked for additional evidence like Mom's bank statements. I don't have access, but they'll subpoena her accounts. They also questioned Mom. She denied everything at first, but when shown the evidence, confessed that she took the loan for the family and that I should help. The detective said the case looks solid, and they'll forward it to the Los Angeles County prosecutor for possible charges. If so, it could be a misdemeanor or felony, depending on the amount and intent. The bank completed its investigation and officially recognized the loan as fraudulent. They removed it from my credit report, and my score is starting to recover, now at 650. But there's a catch. The bank requires Mom to repay the debt, otherwise they'll sue her. She, of course, can't or won't, so now collectors are pressuring her and she's passing it on to me with calls. Look what you've done. Now I'm in debt because of you. I blocked her number, but she texts from others through relatives. The family conflict has erupted in full. My aunt Mom's sister called, begging not to destroy the family, saying Mom always had financial problems and that I should forgive. Other relatives are divided, some on my side, saying it's unacceptable, some accusing me of cruelty. I lost contact with a few cousins because they think family above all. It hurts, I feel isolated, but my therapist helps. We talk about toxic family dynamics, how Mom used guilt as a control tool since childhood. I realized this isn't a one-time thing. In my teens, she opened a credit card in my name for small expenses. But I didn't know then. The lawyer advises preparing for court. We're preparing a civil lawsuit for $20,000 for lost time, legal costs, therapy, and moral damages. He says the chances are high because there's evidence of fraud. I also joined a support group for identity theft victims in LA. Hearing others' stories helps me feel not alone. At work, everything's fine. My boss gave me a flexible schedule when I explained the situation, without details. I even got a raise, which will help financially. But emotionally, it's hard. Dreams about childhood, about Mom crying. I'm trying to focus on the positive, planning a trip with my boyfriend to the Grand Canyon to distract myself. Mom tried to apologize through a letter, wrote that she's sorry, but again added that I owe her for life. I passed it to the lawyer as evidence, waiting for the prosecutor's decision. Thanks for the support, you're keeping me afloat. Update 3, 3 months after the original post. Big changes, the case has gained momentum. The prosecutor decided to press charges. Mom was charged with identity theft felony class because the amount is large and fraud with financial documents. She was arrested a week ago. She was released on $10,000 bail, which she borrowed from relatives. The arraignment was in Los Angeles court. She pleaded not guilty. Her lawyer, public defender, is trying to argue it's a family misunderstanding, not a crime. The judge set a hearing date in 2 months. The detective said the evidence is strong. There's digital trails, confession, and bank records showing the money went to her personal account, home repairs, Amazon purchases, etc. I gave more detailed testimony to the police, told about our history, the manipulations, provided old messages where she asked for money. It was emotionally draining but necessary. The bank fully cleared my credit, score now 720, and I finally bought a car. It's a small victory amid the chaos. The family is in shock from the arrest. Aunt stopped talking to me, calling me a traitor, but Uncle Mom's brother supported me, said Mom always had money problems and this is a lesson for her. I lost a few relatives, but found support in friends and boyfriend. We moved to a new apartment in Hollywood, a fresh start. Therapy is going well. We're working on trauma from toxic parents. I read the book Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. It's like about me. Started journaling, writing thoughts like today Mom called from jail, through lawyer, begging to drop the case. I refused, it's for my protection. It helps. The civil lawsuit is filed, the judge accepted it, and the first hearing is in a month. Lawyer is confident we'll win because the criminal case supports ours. Mom is trying to contest, saying she has no money, but that won't stop the process. Financially, I'm stable, saved for an emergency fund, started investing in a Roth IRA. But stress affects health. I have migraines, so started yoga. Thanks for advice on legal resources, they helped. I'll update after hearings. Update 4, 6 months after the original post. Half a year has passed, and the situation is approaching climax. The criminal trial started last month in Los Angeles Court. It was tense. I sat in the courtroom, watching Mom stand before the judge in simple clothes, looking older than she is. The prosecutor presented evidence: my credit report, the loan application with forged signature, IP logins, the recorded conversation where she confessed, and bank transactions showing how the money went to her personal expenses. Not just repairs, but a trip to Las Vegas, new furniture, and even gifts for herself. My lawyer testified as an expert, explaining how it affected my credit history and life. Mom's defense tried to soften. Her lawyer argued it was an act of desperation due to financial hardships, that she had no malicious intent, and that as a mother she cared for the family. They even called Aunt as a witness, who talked about Mom's tough childhood and how she raised me alone. But the prosecutor dismantled it, showing old messages where Mom planned this in advance and emphasized that the victim is me, not her. The jury seemed sympathetic to me. One woman nodded when I testified. My testimony was hard. I told about childhood, the constant reminders of debt, how it destroyed my trust and financial stability. Cross-examination was tough. Mom's lawyer implied I allowed her access to documents because I trusted her, but I replied that trust doesn't equal consent to crime. The verdict was delivered after 3 days: guilty of identity theft and fraud. Sentencing will be announced next month. The prosecutor is demanding 2 years probation, a $15,000 fine, the loan amount, and mandatory financial education and therapy. Jail is possible but unlikely due to no prior convictions. Mom cried in the courtroom, looking at me reproachfully, but I didn't look away. It was necessary for my healing. The civil lawsuit is also progressing. We had a hearing where the judge ordered Mom to pay $25,000 for the debt, legal costs, therapy, and moral damages. She's appealing, saying she has no money, but the court froze her assets, small account and house. If she doesn't pay, possible garnishment through wages or property sale. My lawyer says it's a strong position because the criminal verdict supports the civil one. Emotionally, I'm on a roller coaster. After the trial, I had a panic attack, heart pounding, thoughts about whether I did the right thing. Therapist increased sessions. We're using CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, to reprogram guilt. I realized Mom has narcissistic traits, always put her needs above mine, using manipulation. Started reading The Narcissistic Family. It opened my eyes to a lot from childhood, like when she spent my college savings on her needs. Socially, family divided for good. Aunt doesn't talk, but Uncle sent a letter of support, saying he's proud of me for standing up for myself. I found a replacement family and friends. We had a party to celebrate my liberation at the apartment. Boyfriend proposed last week. We got engaged quietly, on the beach in Malibu. It was a moment of happiness amid chaos. Career, promoted to senior marketer with $85K salary per year. It allows planning a wedding and house. Financially, fully recovered, credit score 760, have $10K savings. Mom tried to contact through lawyer, offering a settlement, apology in exchange for dropping charges. Prosecutor refused because it's a state case. I didn't respond. Waiting for sentencing, this will be the end of the chapter. Thanks for your stories about similar family dramas. They helped me feel I'm not a monster. Update 5, 9 months after the original post. Sentencing was announced 2 weeks ago, and it brings relief. Mom got 18 months probation, a $12,000 fine, 200 hours community service, at a financial aid center for low income, ironically, and mandatory therapy for gambling addiction. Turns out part of the money went to casinos. The judge gave her a lecture on parental responsibility and consequences for children, saying, "You not only stole money but also your daughter's trust." She looked broken, no tears this time, just sat staring at the floor. After court, she approached me in the hallway, whispered, "I'm sorry, but you'll never understand my sufferings." I replied, "I understand, but it doesn't justify the crime." That was our last contact. I got a court order for no contact. The civil lawsuit ended in victory. Court ordered her to pay $22,000 over a year, with monthly payments. She sold some things to start and got a job at a supermarket. If she doesn't pay, possible enforcement through court. I received the first payment of $2,000, used it for therapy and wedding deposit. Healing is progressing. Therapy reduced to every 2 weeks. We focus on building healthy relationships. I forgave mom in my heart but won't resume contact. It's called low contact for toxic families. Started volunteering at an organization for financial fraud victims, sharing my story, helping others file reports. It gives meaning to my experience. Life is blooming. Boyfriend and I are planning a wedding next year in California, small with friends. Bought a house in LA suburbs thanks to my restored credit history. Career. Launched my own freelance marketing project, earning extra $3,000 per month. Physically. Got into fitness, running in Griffith Park, lost stress weight. Family. Some returned cousin apologized, said she didn't understand the full picture. Uncle helps mom but supports me. I created a new family, friends, colleagues, community. Reflections. This nightmare taught me financial independence, recognizing manipulation, and setting boundaries. If you're in a similar situation, don't ignore, go to authorities therapy. You're not guilty for parental mistakes. Thanks to the community for support, you were my lifeline. Update 6, 1 year after the original post. Anniversary and I'm finally free. Mom is complying with the sentence, paying fines, going to therapy, doing community service. She sent a letter through lawyer, real apology without accusations, saying she's working on herself and regrets the pain. I didn't respond, but it gave closure. Civil payments are coming regularly. I received $15K out of $22K. The rest is on the way. My life has transformed. The wedding was magical. On the beach with 50 guests, no family drama. We went on honeymoon to Hawaii, first time I relaxed without anxiety. Career. Promoted to manager, salary $100K plus dollars, and my freelance grew into a small business with clients. Emotionally, therapy ended, but I continue mindfulness practices. No guilt, only gratitude for growth. I wrote an article for a blog about family fraud, helped a few people. If anyone reads this in a similar situation, act quickly, protect yourself. Family isn't an excuse for crimes. Thanks for everything. This is the end of updates. Live free. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss new stories.